Hey, soldiers, we've got the central bank of a major country out there stating it plainly. They're not concerned with you building wealth. In fact, they would rather you just be a content, conspicuous consumer. And they're going to help you with that by limiting the amount of money you're able to have. They're going to do this through the implementation of a central bank digital currency, or in this case, a digital pound. The country we're talking about is the United Kingdom, and Britain's face 20,000 digital pound cap under Bank of England plan. Now, this cap would equal $24,000 in US dollars, currently based on the exchange rate right now, the 13th of February, 2023. Britain's would be limited to 20,000 digital pounds, or $24,000 each, if the country goes ahead with a digital currency. And they are going to go ahead. They're moving at full speed. This is according to the Bank of England's Deputy Governor, John Cunliffe. He said this on Tuesday, on last week. Now, here's the thing. The current Prime Minister of the UK, Rishi Sunak, he is a finance guy, okay? He's coming out of Goldman Sachs. So this guy knows the lay of the land. He knows how the World Economic Forum wants to reshape the economy such that you will own nothing and be happy. This is their words, not mine, okay? Sunak's a member in good standing of the World Economic Forum Young Leaders cadre, and he's all with this. Britain's government said on Monday that it and the Bank of England were pressing on with work on a possible digital pound that was likely to enter circulation in the second half of this decade and be held in a wallet provided by banks, although no final decision has been made. So they're taking away your choice as to how to hold on to your money. We're not talking about currency here. I'm talking about money. Now, if they're going to limit you, and look, a lot of people in America might be saying, well, thank God that's not happening over here. It's coming, all right? The central bank digital currency is something that all of these governments are taking a very, very close look at for a variety of reasons. Number one, as Saul Amrova, the former comptroller of the currency nominee, Biden put her up. She didn't make it. She was not voted on because she was absolutely so radical that not even the radicals in Congress would give her a shot. But that nomination did telegraph the direction that the Biden administration and the left in general, I'm not just going to say the left, but the financial elite want to head in with regard to making sure that the consumer stays out there perpetuating this, economy, this Potemkin economy, and also making sure that we, at our socioeconomic level, de-emphasize ownership and asset acquisition. So it's coming to America. More than likely, all of these G20 countries are looking at this. We propose a limit of between £10,000 and £20,000 per individual as the appropriate balance between managing risk and supporting wide usability of the digital pound, according to Cunliffe. He said in a speech. Now, this individual is one of the governors of the Bank of England. And the Bank of England is synonymous, or is the UK version of the Federal Reserve Bank here in America, the Bank of China over in, of course, China. All right. So these central banks, and mind you, in America, we have an important distinction. Our banks own the central bank. Okay. Now you can go and research that. We've done, reports on it before, how the banks have an ownership in the central bank here in America, the Federal Reserve Bank. But that's not so in a country like England, where you have the Bank of England is their central bank. So when you talk about these wallets that will be held at these banks, The banks won't have the type of say over how the central bank maneuvers this currency. They'll just be repositories of, the CBDC at any given time. A limit of £10,000 would mean that 3/4 of people could receive their pay in digital pounds as well as holding pre-existing balances in the same account, while a £20,000 limit would allow almost everyone to use digital pounds for day-to-day transactions. Again, consumerism, all right? That's where the emphasis here is. Now, you got to understand that if you don't hold it, you don't own it, all right? That's very important to keep in mind as we move further into this evolving economy. If you don't possess it, you don't own it. Now, if you got $1,000 under a floorboard somewhere in your home, just in case, okay, you definitely own that. Some of the banks here in America, some of the banking customers have found out that when a technical glitch occurs, it might call into question exactly how much money you have in the bank and whether or not you can gain access to it. All right. That's just a function of the world in which we live. That is why on this channel and others, I encourage people to research forms of true money that they may be able to actually possess in a safe deposit box or in some other secure location. Some silver, okay? Some gold, something that is going to be tradable for a can of Campbell's chicken noodle soup, maybe, if times really get interesting. So this $20,000 pound limit. Now, I want you to understand how they want this to be used. Money above the cap would be swept into a customer's commercial bank account, given that a digital pound would not be a means for storing wealth. They're being very honest about that, okay? Because right now, the pound, the dollar, is not a means for storing wealth simply because of inflation. So they're being upfront with you about that. And they're also saying that, look, we have no plans of creating any mechanism whereby this money that is digitized now and you're able to have this limited amount, so says your government, there are no plans to link this to anything that may help you tread water against inflation. Now, Cunliffe goes on to say, at the other end, you could say, I need a little wallet full of internet cash to buy things on Amazon. So you see where his head is at. He's looking at the masses, us, and saying, well, all they really want to do is like buy shit on Amazon, right? Not a big deal for them to actually need a mechanism to store wealth. We are creating, or we're seeing the creation of a society where you're going to have the uber rich, and then you're going to have everybody else who is just, scraping by on a subsistence type of existence, economically at least. I don't want you to be in that number. So therefore, what you need to do is you need to start researching things that hold wealth. Defy these people, okay? Defy the World Economic Forum. Defy the Bank of England, and defy whatever central bank it is in the country you live in by seeking ownership. Now, I know that in some countries that's more of a challenge than others, okay? I understand that. But I know here in America, you've got, and we've done, reviews on, Webull, showing you how to purchase a stock for as little as $5, okay? That's less than the cost of a trip to Dunkin' Donuts, all right? Central banks across the world are studying digital currencies, with the European Union due to publish a draft law in May setting out a legal framework for a potential digital euro. So we're moving in that direction. We're talking about a digital pound because, the UK is not part of the EU anymore. And so the EU is talking about the same thing. And, they keep using the word potential, but trust me, there's nothing potential about this. It's an element of control one that tyrannical governments, and these little, tyrants throughout government in every country salivate over, because this will be a de facto social credit scoring system. Step out of line, and you won't have access to your money that's held in the digital wallet. Okay. Step out of line, and they may make it so that, okay, you can pay your rent and you can buy a certain amount of items at the grocery store, but beyond that, you are kind of locked into place, kind of like a social penalty. If you jaywalk, for example, or refuse a certain medication, or say things that are, in line or commensurate with someone who is an independent thinker. Don't think it's a possibility. I always stress to you, in America, okay? We got the Statue of Liberty as you come into the country via New York. Liberty, okay? Well, that was ignored, and people were told that they were going to lose their jobs if they didn't fall in line with the government edict. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the law would need to be approved by EU states. Of course, the law pertaining to any digitized euro would need to be approved by EU states and the European Parliament, although it will be the European Central Bank that decides this autumn on whether to proceed with a digital euro. So what the hell are they holding a vote for? It sounds like the unilateral decision, at least the way they wrote this, is up to the European Central Bank. Maybe they just want to have a vote to make people feel good, and no matter the outcome, they're going to move forward with it. Burkhard Balz, executive board member of Germany's Bundesbank, that's their central bank, Germany's central bank, told a conference on Tuesday that a key aspect to be decided is whether a digital euro would have legal tender status, meaning it could be used to settle a debt in court. Cunliffe said a digital pound would have the same legal status as cash. So the UK has already made the decision that their CBDC, their central bank digital currency, is going to have the same rights and privileges as the pound. Okay? Now, these CBDCs could also be used if you are a member of the wrong religion. What am I talking about? The wrong religion? Well, check out this report about how the out-of-control FBI has targeted a major religion, Christians, pretty much, here in America. No religion is safe. But this is the kind of thing they can do when they've got you by the wallet. So resist, purchase assets, and hold on to them. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.